And 12 years ago, Hurricane Sandy slammed the East Coast and became the second most destructive hurricane in U.S. history, with record-breaking storm surge of almost 14 feet. Sandy took the lives of 43 people in New York City alone, and the storm caused $70 billion in damage, making it the most expensive hurricane in U.S. history. At the tip of Manhattan, the Hudson River overtopped barriers, inundated streets, homes, businesses. In the neighborhood of Battery Park, the flooding caused extensive damage to buildings, the public transportation, and underground electrical systems. The storm was a wake-up call to the dangers that powerful storms like Sandy could pose to the city, which suddenly had a new sense of vulnerability. After Hurricane Ida's remnants flooded the city again in 2021, New York Mayor Eric Adams announced a major project in 2022. The South Battery Park Resilience Plan, a $296 million project that aims to protect the shore from storms like Sandy. Construction began this past summer. The goal is to rebuild and elevate the promenade 15 to 17 feet higher than the previous ground level, while installing a coastal flood control system with flood walls and flood barriers along the waterfront. Fox Weather at Night spoke to Angela Howard, Associate Vice President of Construction at Battery Park City Authority, to learn more about this ambitious project to raise Lower Manhattan.
The real origin of this project is Superstorm Sandy that happened in 2012, after which there were subsequent efforts on a grand scale to understand how we could make Lower Manhattan more resilient. The infrastructure of New York, a lot of it is buried underground. So making sure that you don't lose power during a storm event, making sure that the water doesn't end up in the subways. We looked at, the different flood levels and what rising sea levels can happen regardless of storms, right? We're predicting and anticipating rising sea levels. And so the idea is to mitigate against those rising sea levels. What we have done is we've changed the scape of Lower Manhattan because we've actually installed flood barriers, but we've buried them as we've elevated Wagner Park. We've brought the park up 15 to 17 feet in height and embedded the flood barriers and flood wall and flood protection into this park. And the flip-up gates get deployed around the protocol of storm management. So basically, they are always in a down position. And depending on what a prediction for weather will be, they will be deployed and these storm gates will flip up. It's a part of an integrated emergency response action that would have to happen if a storm is predicted. It is protecting people. It is protecting assets. It's protecting the community itself. It's protecting infrastructure as well.
The South Battery Park City Resiliency Project is expected to be completed in the summer of 2025. It's the first step in a series of further resiliency projects in Lower Manhattan. And this is all to protect against future storms.